Yeah, right. On the day that we start a second by second countdown, I'm running back from the bathroom to get here in time. Ah, don't do this to me, guys. What is it? 8 o'clock, 35 seconds. I'm late. Okay, what have we got today here? It's all at the carving bench, but a few different jobs here. A few different jobs. What are we going to do? Let's see. This is supposed to be secret, but what are you going to do when you have a live stream? Step one, I need to. Okay, 3 jobs on the plate this morning. First job, I've got to get the next loot. This is not the next loot print. This is the loot print for, is this August or July? I forget. Maybe August. It's the loot print for August. I have to get it off to our carver. She's waiting for the next block set to get started. Why am I cutting off the registration marks now? There's 2 ways to do this. What I could have done with the registration marks visible there, I could have just pasted this thing down onto this, and then seeing the registration marks there, I could have cut them. That's okay, but another way to do it is to cut the registration marks first, and then gently put the paper quietly into the registration marks. And for me, that's more accurate. If I paste the paper on here with the registration marks visible, then cutting them, inevitably when you're putting the knife in, it's, you know, it can squeeze the block a little bit one way or the other. So this to me is more accurate, to cut them first and put the paper into it. My printing technique is sharper than my carving technique. Where are we? Should say good morning everybody here. What have we got here? Postage stamps. It's a minimal image, this one. The print is going to be that size, but most of it is going to be just color information that doesn't have outlines. So we've got a couple of characters who will be colored later, and then will be some colored objects near them. But those objects won't be appearing on the key block. So this is my simple one. It'll be a few minutes work, well, a couple of hours work for her to carve this one. Well, here we go. I have a bang. I have to tap this with a hammer. So if anybody's got headphones on, we have to warn about this. I'm going to make a single sharp tap with a hammer in 3, 2, 1, and tap. too much glue there, I think. Yeah. Dee, what are you doing? Okay, that's that. That gets mailed to our carver, Kawasaki-san. It'll take her a day or two. She'll send it back. And then we'll do the color blocks. I'll send the color block patterns to her. That goes to the post. Now, what's next this morning? What's next is Lei-chan, our young carver from, young printer from Hong Kong. She's been working on the Patreon print. She started printing. Those of you who heard her yesterday, we did some test printing on Patreon prints, and we talked about, she identified what were some problems. Some of the colors seem to be overlapping some of the lines. The blue here popped out above the line. There was a little thing here, some of the colors coming into the hand, and all of the color along the bottom here, all of this brown color was poking in. And I speculated at the time that I had made a bit of a mistake, that because I took time with doing the color separations, instead of doing it on one day, I did it over a period of 3 days. I was afraid some of the color sheets might have shrunken or swelled, and the color blocks might need considerable adjustment. Turns out the answer is simpler, much simpler than that. What I had done was, here, maybe we can zoom in if we can see this. This is the blue color block. Let's put it in the same orientation. It's the color block to print this one. And I don't know if you can see it. Let's try and find the spot here. Because this is the rough test printing. The blue was coming out into this place here. And it turns out that what I had done was, when I did cut the blocks, I cut with my knife all the areas, all the lines. I scooped away with my big chisel. And then the last step in all of this print carving is supposed to be, you come away with your chisel and clean up against the lines. And I have here one spot where I have cut the line, did the scooping, and didn't clean up. I've got 3 or 4 of these to do, so let's get that zoomed in so you can see what's going on. Hang on a second, let me find the spot. So maybe you can see it there easier now. So the line was cut originally with the knife. This is the original knife line. The knife has already gone into the wood there. The knife has been through the wood here. It's already cut this. Then I did the scooping out, and what I forgot to do that day was to trim off this last little piece. So this isn't a question of block expansion or screwed up color blocks. It's just a question of the last little bit of work was forgotten. And this happened on the blue block and on the brown block. On this line at the bottom of this block here. Perhaps you can see the knife here. The knife has been in there already. Look at this, I'm just re-entering the same cut. The knife has been in there. You can see it just popping up, popping open. And then I did the scooping. So this is good news. It's not a major repair that's necessary. The blocks are not distorted. We're okay. I don't need to apologize for screwing up because I did nothing. Also, last night when I was reading through the chat from yesterday's stream, I see there was a few comments about the way we've done these color separations on these Patreon prints. And people were worried that there were things that John had specified in his original thing that I had not done. And yet we've changed it. I know John gave me just a rough guide to what he thought a color separation should be. We've gone ahead and done ours using that guide to some extent. And there was people who were panicking because I had missed a couple of things on there. And whatever. I don't think they were missed. They were just, we were using his work as a guide, but not as a perfect thing. So. Okay, there's one, there's two. Now what else was there? Where's the sample again? There's a place on the hand here. This is an actual mistake. This little triangle needs to come off, and that must be on the, which block? It's not this block. Is it on this block? No. Must be on this block, I think. It's a little chip, isn't it? I don't know where it is. I wonder if she took it off already. It's a triangle of light tone. Must be the base wood tone. Show this is the shadow. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, I think that's it. These are all the parts she asked me to change. It was that blue. She circled this stuff at the bottom. That one. I think we're good to go. Okay, two of the jobs are done. Now we get to the real work of the day, back to the normal carving work. You know what that is? Okay, where are we? No, not the octopus. I'm sorry. Nice try. It's all about the priorities, guys. I'm sorry. I know. We had a couple of young women in here yesterday from France. They work in a printmaking workshop in Montpellier. Fun ladies. We had a fun time together chatting about this and that. And they'd seen that I was working on the octopus like a year ago. So they came in expecting to, see it and maybe pick one up and stuff like this. And I had to disappoint them. I showed them the block where I was, and they're like, "But that's just about where you were a year ago." And I did whatever. All I can do is just shrug my shoulders and throw my hands up, whatever. All these jobs have different priorities. I'm sorry. Aoyama-san and I, yesterday, we got some good quality time down on the first floor. The back room, the party room, is coming along. It is looking really nice. It's just looking so nice, I know there are people who perhaps once we do get it open, they're going to look at it and say, "You guys didn't need to spend that much time on this. You could have just done a more bare bones approach and got it open." But I don't care. It really is going to be nice. You're going to walk into that party room and think, "Wow, look at this place." And maybe that's important and maybe it's not, but I think it's important. We're trying to give people a really fun experience here. And that experience is made up of a whole bunch of things. Part of it is the printmaking. And part of it is this place that we built. And the physical shop itself is, I think, going to be part of the experience of coming here and doing these things. He thinks I'm going a little bit overboard with some of these things, and maybe he's right, but I can't help it. We're just going to... I want people to walk into that space and just feel that they're in somewhere special, So. We had a fun experience yesterday afternoon. Actually, it's late in the afternoon, about 5:30 or so, just not too far before closing the shop. A bunch of people had already gone home. It was just a few of us left here. I was working downstairs with Aoyama-san because the shop was quiet. And by 5:30 or so, it gets kind of quiet. So, I was downstairs doing some of the working on the print party room with Aoyama-san. And a couple of people were up in the shop, a couple of staff were up in the shop. And one of the staff guys, a new one, Koizumi-kun, he's a new staff member for us. He came downstairs to get me. This happens all the time. Dave, there's a customer in the shop. They're YouTube viewer or whatever you'd like to talk to. So I get ready to come upstairs. Just tell him, just a minute, I'll be there in a minute. I got to change out of my dirty pants, whatever I was doing down there. And he says, Dave, there's a lady here to see you, and she's crying. And I'm like, okay, let's get upstairs. And we'd had actually a difficult incident involving something a couple of weeks before this that had really involved a lot of tears. But so I didn't know what was going on. So I come upstairs, ready for whatever it is, and it was a young lady with her family, her partner, and some of her other family members. And she's from overseas, and she'd been watching the YouTube videos and quite interested in making prints herself. And she had made prints, actually, not woodblock prints in our style. This is what she wants to try next. She'd been making some etchings in college back in her own country. And I come into the room. I come upstairs and dusting off my hands from the mess and stuff downstairs. Look around at who am I supposed to be talking to? And this young lady, she's I guess about maybe 30 or something. And she just breaks down, totally breaks down crying. She can't actually even talk. She's just sobbing a little bit. Her family is there, like her partner is there, and it was her mother that was there too with her. And we all sort of just stand around for a minute until she can recover herself. And then once she can talk, I talk to her. Are you okay? What's going on? And it wasn't anything tragic. She was just so happy to be here and couldn't believe that she was able to see our work and be here in the place where those videos were made, and then talk to me. And she's explaining that she's still sobbing a bit more, and wiping her eyes. And what can I say? I chatted with her, tried to be as friendly as I can. Look at her work. She didn't have prints with her, but she had stuff on her phone to show us. Try and be congenial and chat with her and settle her down a little bit at first. And of course we take some pictures together and she's just jumping up and down. Is it okay we take pictures together? I'm not being sarcastic to her at all. I'm very, very happy that the young lady felt important about something, and we were happy that we were able to help her have a nice day and have a good day about this. So please don't misunderstand that I'm not being shooting at her. Lady, why are you being so stupid crying about Dave? Because we sort of get this, We get this quite a lot here recently. We've talked about it before in the stream, the way that something's seen on a screen, whether it's a movie screen or a TV screen, or these days even a YouTube screen, sometimes affects people in an interesting way. And the person on the screen, the person who they've seen on the screen, is sort of something real and something not real, and when they meet that person in real life, very interesting things, very interesting things. There's the three levels. When I was a kid, the old one there was movies. There was no YouTube or TV. It was just movies, and people you saw on a movie screen were something incredibly distant and strange and special and whatever. You would never meet them or see them or anything. Then along came TV. There was still that thing on TV. There were the stars and stuff that you would never meet. But TV had another level. There was local TV, so it was possible that you would meet people who were on TV. And then it breaks down even more. Now we've got the YouTube thing, computer screen, and anybody can be on YouTube. So it's no longer just distant superstars. But there's still something left over from those days when screens were something something more exotic, and the people who were on the screens were something special. That feeling still exists here and there, you know. Anyway, whatever, we chatted with her for half an hour or so, and had a very nice time. It was really nice to have her feedback on the videos and stuff, and look at her work on her computer screen. And maybe she'll make some wood block prints. Who knows? It's really not actually the important thing. It doesn't matter. She's having fun. And after half an hour or so, they left happily with their pictures and having had a chance to talk. I sat there quietly. It was the end of the day. We were just getting ready to close the shop, you know. I sit there quietly again, thinking about what this is all about, and, you know. Got to be careful, you know, where I am here. Some of these areas are going to stay and some are going to go out. We talked about it a bit the other day. The original print had dark blue, medium blue, and light blue, and we're going to wrap this into 2 levels. So the super darkest blue level, these lines, the wave curls, are going to be combined on one block with the darkest of the blue inner waves. That's why I'm carving some of this out and leaving some of it. But it's difficult for me to try and remember which is which is which. This will be a darker inner blue, so this is going to stay. And this will be a white curly waves. This has got to come out. But I got to really be careful here not to make a mistake, not to get them wrong. What's this? Babies, okay. You guys go ahead and chat, that's fine. I'm busy here, so you guys go ahead. It's all right. I never know what to expect, you know. Some days actually I haven't actually been able to check all the chat every day. It's been a bit chaotic this last few weeks, but Do I hear some aluminum bat dinging starting? Is that going to happen today here if they got the windows open again? Do you hear it? I don't understand the chat today. It's okay, whatever. It's difficult to compare against the original because we've adapted it so much. This one clearly is going to say. That's not this one. They have the windows. One of the windows is open on the batting center, so we can get that dinging. There's so much stuff out there, within just like 1 minute walk of this place where we are, There's that batting center there, which is literally seconds. You walk out the front door and you can be at the batting center in seconds. Then there's the Taito Station, which is a big game center there. That's in the same building as the batting center. It's part of the same entertainment complex. Then across the street from the Taito Station is what they call authorized. It's another game center. It's a 2-story game center. All kinds of stuff in there. I've just walked through it once. I haven't spent, I'm not a gamer. I don't spend much time in it. That's the authorized Game Center. Then that abuts what's called the Rocks Shopping Center, ROX. It's a major shopping tower. It's about 7 stories high. And it's a 3-building complex. And there's all kinds of stuff in there. There's a fitness center and a pool and stuff in there, which we've talked about before. And they have a, what's the word? Is it foosball? There's a court up at the top on the roof, sheltered from the rain, but up on the top floor is a sort of a soccer field. It's quite large. It's not like a real full-time soccer field, but it's big. And it's used by some sort of clubs and salarymen's after work football clubs and weekends and stuff like that. I guess they're playing, what, 5 or 6 aside? I don't know exactly. Maybe 6 aside. And they play up there all the time. And it's really confusing sometimes. You see people down on the street. They hear the echoing sound of the guys upstairs playing football and kicking it back and forth and whistling and shouting. And when you're standing on the shopping street down at the bottom, you can hear it. It sounds like you're in the middle of a soccer game. But you look up and around and you can't see anything. It's all hidden from the street level. And really, sometimes you see like a tourist is standing there. What's going on? I can hear a soccer game. I can hear a soccer game. And they look around and there's absolutely no sign of what's going on anywhere because it's hidden up on the roof of this thing. And then the theaters, there's clubs, strip clubs, theaters, bars, all kinds of stuff, just all kinds of activities here, you know. Some of the theaters are comedians, some are dancing girls, some are traditional Japanese, I don't know what you call it, quasi-kabuki sort of a style stuff, you know. It's a bizarre mix of Western theater and kabuki theater. The people are acting and saying lines that you can understand, but it's a melodrama type of stuff. It's hugely schlocky and hugely funny. And those guys, man, the theater there, that near one, is called the Mokuhankan. It finishes at about 9 o'clock most nights. And if you go out there between 9, 9:30 and 10 and something, you'll see all the people, the patrons who have been in the theater. They come up and they line outside, waiting in line to do a meet and greet with the actors. And the actors come out in their makeup and get up and stand for pictures and all that kind of stuff. You know. And there's another theater nearby. It's a municipal theater. It's the Hokkaido. It's the municipal hall. It's a theater run by the city. And it's used for everything from high school band concerts right through to top level, acts and stuff, singers and stuff book the theater there because they want to play in Asakusa. So you get all the top level people singing in the enka field or whatever, the traditional Japanese songs. And these are big names in Japan. I mean, they're as big names as they are in any country. And the exit from the parking lot is just down the street from my place. And last night, me and Kawai-san, we were heading down the street for a bar. We were going to have dinner after closing the shop here. This would have been at about 7 o'clock or something, I guess. And just when we get down the street, near the exit to the garage, the underground garage of this theater, we see a crowd of ladies. They're all lined up. Maybe there's 40 or 50 middle-aged ladies. And they're all lined up outside the exit to this parking garage. The cars come up from underground and up to the gate and out into the street. And they're all lined up in a row. And there's some guard men there holding them back in line and stuff like this. And at the exit from the parking lot, there's sort of guys in black suits whispering into their microphones in their collar and stuff like this, And these ladies are all holding sort of electric little sparkler wavy things in the shape of a heart. So I guess it's some male crooner or singer or contemporary Frank Sinatra type or something, whatever. And just when we were passing, just when we were getting to the place, the guardmen jumped the street. Stop, can't walk, back up. And the door to the parkade opens. And out comes this jet black SUV with all the windows except the front one, just totally jet blacked out. You can't see anything. And the women go ape, and they're just waving their sparklers and looking towards and leaning towards this car and blowing kisses and blah, blah, blah. And you can't see anything. The guy is such a, he's a jerk. He doesn't even roll down the window, doesn't do anything. All we see is this black SUV go by. And that's it. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, bang, it's gone. And the ladies are all screaming and waving these sparklers. And that's it. The car goes by and he's gone. And the crowd breaks up and starts to move away, What's this guy, he can't like even acknowledge this, I don't know, I don't get that stuff, Me and Kawai-san just look at each other like, yeah, whatever, so... We were chatting about me and Kawai-san, I'd had the same experience in the afternoon. This young fan comes from overseas, wanted to see us, so we spent time with her chatting, this and that, And then this guy in this car comes out of his garage and doesn't even bother to roll the window down, And I'm looking at his behavior and thinking, what a dick, we're not in the same league, we're not talking about the same thing. This guy's some kind of superstar, obviously, whatever, a singer or a movie star, whatever, I don't even know who it was. But I'm looking at him, at his behavior, and thinking, come on, guy, And we were chatting about this with Kawai-san. He says, no. He said, this is what these women want. If the guy was too approachable and too friendly, the mystique would not be there. The guy has got to be completely, totally unapproachable. That's what makes it safe, These women are probably all married. They got husbands and kids back home and stuff like this. But this thing has to be safe, There's no contact with the guy. There's nothing. It's just... They get their pleasure out of, coming and being a bit of a fan for a few minutes in a completely safe environment, So whatever, I don't know. I don't quite get it, but I sort of get it. I don't know. Round and round we go. Nothing I need to pay attention to. Any news on the paper side of things? Yeah. There's some. There is stuff happening on the paper. I know, not a whole lot to report. I know because of the spring rush here, I haven't had a lot of time to do much more experimentation with the sample patches of paper we've received from Sawaki-san. So there's no new things to report on that side. We've received from him a few hundred sheets of paper in 2 styles, which we are trying to learn how to use. Actually, there goes the tip of the knife. Look at that. Did you see it? I didn't even hear that. Where did it go? There it is. There's the tip. Let's get it out of there. Can you see it? Let's put it down here. There we go. It's back to the sharpening bed. Just as soon as I start talking about paper, I know. Paper at the moment is looking good. I know Sawaki-san's paper, we're testing it still. We're not able to use it for prime time. Each time we do a new batch of sizing, we do some of the old Iwano paper and some of Sawaki-san's paper and try them side by side. So we're learning how to use it bit by bit. But what has sort of come up that we didn't expect is that, I've talked about this a bit before, we ordered back in, I guess it was January or February, no, maybe late December. We ordered our paper for, a half a year forward from Iwano-san, our traditional supplier. Even though we're complaining about the paper, even though there's trouble with it, it's still the mainstay paper that we have to use. And when we ordered from him back in late December or whatever, we ordered quite a lot. He had told us it would be midsummer or something before the paper was ready. So be it, midsummer we expected, but it turned out that over the past month or so, we have received suddenly a ton of this paper. It didn't take until midsummer to get here. He delivered it months, way in advance of what it was supposed to be. 4 huge packages of it in 2 different sizes. And the paper looks really good. It's a bit thinner than we had ordered, but it's got no garbage whatsoever. We can barely find any chili, the garbage inside the paper. It's clean around the edges. We're finding it hard to believe actually that it's made by the same people, the same living national treasure. But it has saved our butts. All of a sudden, at the moment, now we have thousands of sheets of paper which look good to use from, the Living National Treasure Workshop. And it's difficult to us to figure what's going on. We can't phone them up and say, hey, wow, what's happened? How come the paper is so nice this time? You can't sort of phone and ask that question. So we don't really know what to expect. We're not sure actually if they made it themselves or if they've subcontracting. Or maybe they've all of a sudden got a new couple of apprentices there who are helping them and getting the work to help sort it out. We don't know what's going on. And until I get a chance to get up there, probably maybe later in the summer, maybe when the rainy season is on, until I get a chance to get up there and talk to them, I'm not quite sure what's going on. But the long and short is, at the moment, we have a couple of thousand sheets of really nice paper made by our traditional supplier. And we have hundreds and hundreds of sheets made by our new up-and-coming supplier, which are not perfect, ready to use yet. So at the moment right now, the pressure is off me on the paper. We have stable supply at the moment on the traditional one and a good up-and-coming supply. I should have been reporting about this as it happened, but there's just been so much going on. Okay, last time I sharpened this, the other day, because it had been breaking so many times, I sharpened it instead of quite an acute angle. Can we see this? Yeah. I lowered it to more of an obtuse angle, and it's still broken. So I'm now really, really nervous about the quality of this blade. This is the 4th time it's broken on me. Now when a new blade comes, you always expect some breakage on the first couple of times because it's not tempered properly at the very end of the blade. For 2 reasons. They don't hammer evenly, when they're hammering the thing. It's difficult to hammer right at the end of it. And then also when they sharpen it originally, they beep, beep, beep on a wheel and it's too hot and it loses its temper. We've talked about it before. The first couple of sharpenings on a blade are usually no good. But this is now going on longer than I like. And I'm a bit nervous about the whole quality of this blade overall. And if it breaks like this again once more or twice more, what I'll probably do is I'll get a file and I'll chop it off. Chop off maybe the first centimeter or something. Just throw it away. Jump down to the middle of the blade and try that. And if that still breaks, then that's it. Just toss this. We've just got a bad blade. Can't mess around with it. So we'll try it one or two more times and we'll see how it goes. As we get near the shape that we're looking for, back off the pressure a bit. I was pushing vigorously down to get lots of metal cut off there at the beginning, but now we're getting closer to the shape, so I can back off. You don't want to gouge the steel anymore. And now till we've come down so far, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let's try. I don't know how to show this. Looking at the back side now. You can see on the back side now, we're really close to reaching the area where the hollow ground is on the back side. See this? That curve, that hollow ground place now, is nearly right at the tip. So we have to do some work on the back side, and I'll do that on the next stone rather than this stone. Usually, not always, usually what happens is you'll shape the bevel. We're shaping the bevel on one level of stone. This is the strong stone. Then we're going to move now to the medium stone, and we're going to do the back side on the medium stone first. Then shape the bevel some more on the medium stone, then go to the last stone and do the back on there again. I don't want to do the back side on the strongest stone because I don't want to remove that hollow ground. I see this now? We've got it back down. Just a sec. There we are. See it now? The hollow ground part has now been moved back from the edge. It's not right at the edge anymore. So that sharpening on the back that we just did has now been focused up towards the edge. Okay, let's put the bevel. This part now is the actual sharpening. The rough stone is just for shaping the steel to the shape you want. The next step, the polishing, this is the one that just actually does the sharpening. I think we have a nice blade here now. Find the angle where the light hits so you guys can see it. Here we are. Is it somewhere in there? There we go. There's our bevel. Not perfectly flat, but pretty flat. And I'm going to knock off the back with the tip. Tip it up just a little bit, very light pressure. We've cut off, we've put another back bevel on the tip there, because this is obviously breaking way too much. Nice. Okay, let's move on to the polishing stone. But this blade now has really lost my trust. I'm expecting it, whatever, to break any time. So it's really unusual. I haven't had one like this in years, you know. I'm very happy with this. Looks really nice. Very happy. How long it's going to last, I haven't a clue. I don't trust it one bit. Trying to get the light reflected here. Okay, sorry for the detour again. What are you guys on about over here? Glasses, please. Enough, enough, enough. Look at that, I can still see the little triangle still sitting there from the broken one from before. They're magnetic after breaking. I don't know why. I think somebody in a previous stream said that the shock of breaking sends some sort of pulse through the metal and turns it magnetic. I don't know. But it's important, again, we've talked about this before, after you do break the tip, it's really important to get that broken piece of metal out of the block. What happens sometimes is you're carving along, the tip breaks, it stays in there, you go and sharpen, then you come back with your brand new blade, you put it in the same spot, and you hit the piece of metal that's in there, of course, which is not what you want to do. So, all right, so for the first few cuts here, because I'm really unsure about this blade, just try and keep it straight without wiggling around too much here. Ooh, that's sharp. I do not want to play games with this thing, you know. I'll be in the Ome workshop next Tuesday, catching up on stuff with the staff there, so I better pick up a couple of extra blades, I think. In case this one turns out to be a dud. A couple of years back we were talking about getting into the tool business, and we're still, you know, thinking about this and actively thinking about how we can make it happen. And we're not blacksmiths, of course. We wouldn't be making our own, the metal part of these tools. We would be buying blades, just as we are for this one, and making our own handles and cases and, you know, everything else, the paraphernalia that goes around it. Well, how do you handle this? You know, even if we do start selling our own tools, there are going to be cases where there's just bad blades, you know. I'm not quite sure how to handle that. If this blade had gone to a person with no experience, or not so much experience, fine, it would be sharpened when we send it out. Then they start using it, and after a while it would have broken, just like it did with me using it. And the first assumption is that because it's a person who's perhaps not a professional, the blade broke, okay, whatever, blades break. So they sharpen it, and it would break again. They sharpen it, it would break again. And probably the assumption would be that that person didn't know what they were doing. Maybe you shouldn't have bought such an expensive tool, blah, blah, blah. But actually, no, this thing looks like it could be defective blade. So, but we have no way to tell. So I'm not quite sure how to handle that. You know, even Matsumura-san now, who's supplying blades and tools for this, you know, sometimes there are pieces of steel that just don't work out quite as well as the others, you know. And there's no way for the manufacturer to tell without, like, you know, using half of it to carve. Maybe there's some tool they could use for vibrating and testing the metal, or x-rays or something, you know. But at this level of working, it's just not practical. So I'm not sure if we do get into the tool business, how we would handle this, you know. Because for sure, people are going to break these blades, lots, you know. These blades are not all that strong, and the wood we're using, cherry, is quite hard. There is a lot of blade breakage. And my God, when I was a beginner, I broke it every few minutes. Not, you know, blaming the steel. It was obvious I was a turkey. You know, didn't know what I was doing. And maybe in and among that, some of the blades I did use were not so good compared to others, but there's no way to tell. So I don't know. We can't really offer a money-back guarantee if it breaks, because blade breakage is just what happens, you know. So I'm not sure what to say, how to handle that as we go forward. cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. I suppose we could offer the option if somebody is having persistent breakage problems with a blade, just send it back, whatever. I'll sharpen it and I'll try it myself for a while. And if it doesn't break, again, just send it back saying, sorry guy, it's probably you. And if it does break at that point, then just replace it. A while back, a few years ago, I was helping Matsumura-san deals with English customers, and he doesn't speak English very well, you know, the tool supplier here in Tokyo. And years ago, maybe 10 years ago or so, when he was first starting to deal with foreigners, myself and my girlfriend, who was helping him still with English, we were doing translations of emails for him and helping and stuff like that. And when he put his tool catalog out, he tried to be sort of as comprehensive as possible, and he put in a lot more tools than were really useful. And he had a blade like this, the 4.5 common blade in his catalog. But because the makers had other ones, he put them all in his catalog. 4.5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.5. He had these really tiny, delicate tools in his catalog. A knife like this with about a 1.5 millimeter blade. I've never used such a thing and wouldn't use such a thing because it would break. You just put it into wood and bang, it's going to snap. But he put it in his catalog just in the interests of being sort of comprehensive and complete. And my God, every one he sold, the people just complained right away. I just put it in the wood and it broke right off at the handle, you know. And I'm like, well, of course. And he just persisted in this and had so much trouble with complaints, you know. So if we do our own tool catalog, I'm like thinking, what do I do? First we put in the basic level of tools in the catalog. And then we've got more delicate or more expensive models in there. But before you can order these prints, you got to show me, before you can order these tools, you have to show me one of your prints or something like this, so I can tell what level you're at and if you need this tool or not. Do we do that? I don't know, you know. Nope, we won't sell you this print because your work is too rough. We won't sell you this knife because your work is too rough. You know. So you have to pass a test before they'll send you this delicate knife. You know. I don't know. In order to qualify to become a customer of the Mokuhankan tools, your prints have to pass our test first. You know. I haven't broken it yet. Maybe we're okay. Who knows? There's been ambulances all over here this morning. There was a bit of an incident early this morning. I was woken up, whatever, at 6 or something, by an ambulance. Really close. Just the restaurant 2 doors down here. And it was followed shortly after by a police car and then some policemen on bicycles. And they were all over the house, clipboards, bicycles, interviewing. So I'm not quite sure what's happened. It could be that one of the elderly people living there, I don't know, has, not sure, don't know. We'll hear about it in the grapevine today later on. So. I everything okay, right? That stayed in, that comes out. I think this comes out also. Not 100% sure, but let's take it out. What's the planner? Today's Saturday morning. It's, oh, look at that. Time is really going on. Camera won't be here today because it's Saturday, of course. And this is now the first Saturday. We are now entering the Golden Week holiday season. And I say that with some trepidation. It's a period of extended holidays. It basically starts now, Saturday. Typical salarymen worked at their company through Friday night yesterday. And now we're off Saturday and Sunday for a holiday, and I don't know the exact calendar. Next week, I think Monday and Thursday and Friday are actually legal holidays. I'm not sure the exact setup. But Golden Week is that time in Japan when there are 3 or 4 legal holidays all bunched together. So what a lot of companies do is they just give up and close down for the whole period. And it will be from this Friday, from Saturday, Sunday closed, all through next week, the 5 days. Probably 3 of which are legal holidays and 2 of which are gimme holidays. Then it'll be the next Saturday and Sunday. So it's probably going to be 9 days altogether this year. I'm not sure without looking at the calendar. And Asakusa is going to be jumping. There are people that go overseas for Golden Week. There are people that do domestic travel for Golden Week. And then there's everybody else who just stays in Tokyo. But they don't sit at home. They want to get out and around and do stuff. And Asakusa still, even after all these years, is one of those places where people just want to come and hang out and stroll around and see stuff and drink. So for the next 9 days, this is going to be wall-to-wall people out front of our shop here. And we're still heavy with tourists because it's, spring, the tail end of the spring cherry season. And I'm short-staffed because they're holidays. We have to give our staff holidays. That's how holidays, what holidays mean. And many of our staff, they want to be off with their husbands or family or whatever. So we're going to be really short-staffed this week. It's mostly going to be me and Kawai-san, who's a single guy. He doesn't have a family to worry about. We're going to handle most of it. And it starts this morning. And we've got now the shutter open downstairs. Even though the shop downstairs isn't open, the shutter is now open with pictures on it. We put the rickshaw cart picture up, a few days ago. And tonight or tomorrow, depending on when it gets delivered, we get a giant poster, 2 meters high poster of the Foxmoon print is going up on the other side of the front door. And based on our experience over the past few days, those pictures downstairs bring in a ton more people. Kawai-san and I were talking about this last night. This next 9 days could be interesting. And it starts, what is it now? It's 9:17 now. It starts in a few minutes for us. So. I should still be here streaming. This stream is waiting for me every morning. I'll be working on this block clearly for the next few days. If I'm alive, if I can survive this onslaught of people that's about to come in here. The weather's looking good too. It's going to be clear and sunny for most of it. The beer companies are obviously really happy about that. might be Kawai-san, I guess. I'm not sure. Let's see. Who's on today? It's Kawai-san and Kitamura-san, one of the new young ladies who's joined us in the past few weeks. He goes straight into the shop to look at the party reservation calendar to see how it's changed overnight. Good morning. 今パーティーキャレンダー見たんですが
あれ今日少ないですよね。
少ない。今日少ないです。だけどもうゴールデンウィークですからいいです。少ないです。今日からでしょ。
はい。
今日からゴールデンウィークの。
あ、今日からもうゴールデンウィークに入った。世間で。
金曜日でしょ。土日何？土日月火水木。
土日月。
今年は。
そうですね。
9日かな。9日かな。今日から。
関係。
これでシャッターをちょっと開けて。Karen, okay, I guess I got to get going, gang. It's been a bit of a mixed, funny, quiet stream today. Got a bit of work done here. Nothing exciting. The chat, I don't even know what happens here in the chat here. If I need a holiday from the stream, I don't think so. The mornings for me, it's, he's not sick, it's, hay fever. でしょ？花粉？今の。そう。He's not sick. Don't sweat it.
今、ヒノキかな。
So, he's got 3 or 4 of these different allergies that combine. And no sooner one tree has flowered and it's finished and he's okay, then the next one starts and back he goes again. So all year long. But it's funny with Kawai-san. Some of us, we get hay fever, whatever, our nose run and we sneeze once. This guy's okay for about 1 hour and then sneezing. Bang, 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 sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. Then it's okay. あと20分. Then また sneeze, 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 sneeze.
なんかわかんないけど、すごい。
It happens during print parties. He's doing a print party, teaching everybody and saying something. Then he says, and then he sneezes once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So the print party people are all like, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? So you can't stop it. You can't help it, of course. So. Anyway, he and I, we've got to get to work. Thank you for watching today. As I said, it's been a quiet little stream, whatever. The next few days, tomorrow's Sunday, I should be here doing this on Sunday and on Monday. Tuesday, I'll be off in Ome, and beyond that, I cannot see. Local honey, I'll pass the tip on to him, and we'll see if it means anything or not. Whatever. Thanks for watching, guys, and time for me to get out there in the shop. We got to get our paper ready for a bunch of print parties. Thank you again. See you next time. What a quiet, funny day today. And this blade, I don't know. Me and this blade, we're going to have some good times together, or he's out. I don't have any idea. We'll see. Thanks again. Bye-bye.